Yo.
Welcome into The Hop, the craft beer podcast with Gabe and Steven. My name is Steven Humes here with Gabriel Apria.
What is happening? I need a nap. I'm kind of hungover. All right.
Well, suck it up because we're going to drink now. And It's time to go. We're going to go for the very first time, 117 episodes in, to the country of Belgium. I almost called it a city, but it's a country, and we're going there.
Wow.
And
listen, we've watched enough Olympics that we should have mapped this down by now.
We're going to Belgium. We're doing two beers called Delirium. It's a brand that's owned by a brewery called Brewery Huyghe.
I'm gonna let you pronounce that. Go for it.
It's spelled Huyghe, and if I'm honest, every time I read it, it looks like someone that has like something stuck in their throat or something. It's like Brewery Huyghe. Like that's what it looks like to me. So that's what it is.
Wow. Shots have already been fired, and we're in minute 2. This is great. This is great.
Look, you know this beer. Though. You know this beer. It's Delirium.
It's the pink elephant.
Yeah.
Usually behind the blue label, if that's the beer you're drinking. It's known to be very strong beers, very good beers, and I could be wrong, but I feel like it's one of those breweries / beers where when you see it at a bar, you're kind of like, oh, they've got that.
It has a reputation of being one of the best beers in the world. Is it craft beer?
Sure, it is today.
Shades of gray, but I mean, it's a family-owned operation that has been in Belgium for a very long time. We'll get into it, but there's some good beers. There's some strong beers. They come in fun ceramic bottles. You can get them most places, so stick around. It's going to be a Belgian episode today.
Hell yeah.
So before we get started, a weekly or bi-weekly reminder to check out The Hop on the social medias. We are at the HO Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. We are available on Facebook, of course. We are reachable by email if you have requests or suggestions or feedback or anything of that nature. You can find us at thehopod@gmail.com. Hit us up and we will get back to you quickly. We also are on YouTube as a video product. We record the show for your viewing pleasure each and every week if you are interested in doing that. And it's a great way to see the beer, what it looks like, see the breweries that we are visiting and all of those things. So you can just go to YouTube and search for The Hop, a craft beer podcast. When you have found us, click the bell, subscribe. You'll get notified when a new episode goes live. And you can leave a comment. Don't be a dick. You can also find us on Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you get your podcasts, and wherever you do that. If you could rate and review us, that would be awesome. It helps us make the show better for you. It helps us get the word out about this hop community we have here. So please do all of those things. Thank you.
Let us know what breweries to hit up next. Let us know what breweries to repeat. Let us know if there are any dope breweries in other countries we should explore. Obviously, we've done some international beer here and there, certain episodes, holidays, and whatnot, what have you. But this is just a normal episode, and we're going to Belgium. Maybe we'll do a normal episode, and we'll go to Tanzania. I don't know. Do you know? Nobody knows. But let us know. We're here for you.
Tanzanian beer is definitely on the agenda.
Dude, are you kidding me? That'd be amazing.
All right, let's get into the news.
Woo.
Beer news.
So, some news out of California. The California legislature is working on a bill that would allow direct-to-consumer shipping of liquor. That's fun. Means that basically distillers could send their liquor directly to your house. So hopefully that'll pass. According to online retailers, ready-to-drink cocktails overtook hard seltzer in sales for Memorial Day. So that just felt like worth noting, like maybe the hard seltzer decline is real. Who knows?
It's interesting because, I remember a little while back, we had talked about how, the big guys, White Claw, Truly, Bud Light seltzers, those were still going, but all the other ones were kind of falling flat. So,
I mean, listen, you're not going to get any complaints out of me, but it's just something to track. Also, Boston Beer Company is launching a cannabis-infused tea in Canada. There's no alcohol in it, but there's weed in it, and they're calling it Teapot.
Teapot.
Fun.
Can we just...
Give them
I just
something.
need to...
Give them a... Yeah. Cheers.
That's impressive. That's good. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, so look out for that. Iced tea line, Teapot. What will it taste like? God only knows.
Time will tell. Go to Canada and get what I'm curious about. Every time we talk about this, I'm just curious how it hits. That's what I need to know.
Right.
I know how edibles hit, and I know how smoking things hit. I need to know how these drinks work, because that's going into your body in a very different way, and I'm just curious what we're talking about there. You know?
I feel like it doesn't smack you in the face. I feel like it could be a gradual kind of like, the edible, it just like slowly goes up there. I mean, maybe after an hour is when you start to go, ooh, I'm a little, dizzy. I don't really know, but I'm interested in that as well. It's interesting to think about.
If you know, let us know. How about that?
By subscribing. Anywho, moving on. All right. Maui Brewing. We love them. They were on the show. Great beers. Love the Hawaiian themes. Aloha. They are acquiring Modern Times.
Well, they're trying to acquire Modern Times.
They're bidding. They're putting they're throwing their hat in the ring. That's the expression, right? Yeah, they're throwing their hat in the ring, and they're trying to get Modern Times. Basically, what is being described as they are placing a quote-unquote stalking horse bid that was accepted by a court. So basically, they're citing the point for the auction that is coming up. They are going to do their best to acquire it. As we know, Modern Times, they've been looking elsewhere. They've been looking for some sort of sale. They've been looking to basically get the hell out of Dodge in one way or another. The auction is most likely going to take place on June 8th. So by the time this episode comes out, it had already happened.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maui Brewing, as of right now, of this moment, we're not sure, but Maui Brewing might be taking over for Modern Times. There was a quote saying, while this is just the first step in a long process, we believe in the Modern Times brand and feel it provides a tremendous opportunity for us. That was Maui Brewing co-founder and CEO Garrett Marrero.
Yeah,
so
and
look out for that.
I guess this stalking horse bid means that Maui can't increase their bid if they are outbid. So if somebody else who's qualified to buy a brewery comes to, I mean, it's not just like Gabe and I can go try and buy the brewery, but if you're qualified, then you can.
I mean, not with that attitude.
If you're someone that the court deems appropriate and you outbid Maui Brewing, I think Maui Brewing is SOL. But yeah, so I mean, honestly, by the time this episode airs, we might know who won the auction. But we don't right now, and that sucks for you, the listener. But we'll talk about it next time we come out here.
I don't believe we know what their bid was. I'm assuming, it's a brewery. I'm assuming it's some sort of a lot. But yeah, we're keep tabs on this. Well, in that case, we could absolutely buy the damn thing. I've never heard the phrase stalking horse. I think it's hilarious. But that's that, and who cares? We have more news and notes that Steven can't wait to talk about. Steven.
I am so excited for this story. So you remember a few years ago when we talked about it on this very podcast? A few years ago, Miller Coors sued, they're now Molson Coors for those keeping tabs. They sued Anheuser-Busch because Anheuser-Busch aired Super Bowl ads which called them out for putting corn syrup in their beer, which for the record, Molson Coors puts corn syrup in their beer. So I don't know where Molson Coors got off getting angry about this. It's sort of like Gabe's just like, I'm going to sit back and just let him
go for it. This is great.
It was a big lawsuit that went through the courts. This started in March of 2019. It's been known as Corngate. Brewbound referred to it as a controversy, which I thought was hilarious. But basically, the news story is that a judge agrees with me and said, Molson Coors, get the fuck out of here. Told them to take a hike, dismiss the lawsuit, awarding a win to Anheuser-Busch. We on the Hop are not big fans of Anheuser-Busch, nor do we root for their general success. But in this case, They absolutely were in the right. This is what, so for beer consumers, you may remember that there was a period of time where Bud Light cases and stuff, they all had in big bold letters like barley, water, hops, yeast. Like it had the 4 ingredients of beer on the case. And that was because they were shitting on Molson Coors for putting corn syrup in their beer, because Molson Coors puts corn syrup in their beer. And here he is. You've been waiting for him.
Stay thirsty, my friend.
There's our boy.
It's just so funny to me that Molson Coors like didn't like that they were called out on it, so they took him to court. It's sort of like if you, I don't know what the good metaphor is, but it's just like you do something you shouldn't do. Somebody called you out for doing something you shouldn't do, and you said, "Don't talk about us like that." Sort of. Political.
They're bad-mouthing us. Well, they should. You guys suck. Get out of here and change who you are as a person. That's basically what happened.
Your beer tastes like piss that's been sweetened with corn syrup.
Stay thirsty, my friend.
I just wanted to see how many times I could sneak him in on this one story.
I got to be honest. I'm surprised it was only 2 so far. We still have time. I'm not going to push you, but I was expecting a little more.
It's like, I don't know. It's just like from a craft beer perspective, it's just sitting back and just with my popcorn, just watching 2 giant shitty beer companies just go at each other. And it's very funny. And the Brewbound story is worth reading if you get the chance. They called it a controversy, and
Corngate.
It's very punny little story. Molson Coors alleged that its rival was spreading kernels of uncertainty about the ingredients.
No. Some editor was like, now's my chance.
Yeah, Jessica Infante had some fun with this one. Anyway.
Hey, why not, Jess?
The lawsuit has ended. Okay, one more thing before we dive into the beer. It's your favorite segment.
If you really like getting swole at the gym, you're going to hate this just as much as we do.
Oh, God.
This week in gross.
In this week's edition of a segment that we could rename Stuff Nobody Asked For.
That's the spinoff.
There is a beverage company in Erie, Pennsylvania that is called Protocol, Protocol. And they are launching a spiked protein drink. This is an 11 grams of protein pineapple flavored drink. Actually, it comes in 3 flavors: pineapple pump, swole berry, and orange county. I need to leave. I need to walk off the show. I need
to slap someone. Are you kidding me? Listen, it is kind of clever, but at the same time, given what the drink is, it's an alcoholic protein drink. No. What are you doing?
Swole berry?
Oh my God.
Ew.
It's 8%.
Pineapple pump?
It's 8% ABV. So, like, it's pretty boozy. Like, but 11 grams of protein at the same time. I can't understand the market for this. I can't understand why I'm exasperated. I don't know what to say.
Seriously, I mean, my first question is, okay, it's a protein thing. Like, first off, people might mistake this for protein shake, muscle milk sort of deal, and they might chug this at the gym, after the gym, before the gym. This is a problem, number one. Number two, it just sounds gross. It sounds like it'll hurt. It sounds like it's not going to work. It sounds like it'll screw your stomach up. But that's just me.
The product has been on sale for over 3 months. It got a lot of interest on TikTok, where all great ideas are spawned.
This drink is the TikTok of the craft beer world, 100%.
They're currently expanding their distribution focus through Pittsburgh State College in Cleveland, and it's three friends from college: Mitch Clark, Josh Kurzewski, and Nick Prishak. And college is the place that an idea like this would come from.
How jacked are they? Like, do they use this? Does it work?
There are no pictures of these men, but yeah.
I want to know what a licensed professional personal trainer would think about something like this.
Yeah, it just seems really, really wrong. You know that commercial that they keep playing with Larry David, where people show up with him with like I call it the wheel, and he's like, "This is dumb and it's not going to work" or whatever. We could be that guy. You don't know that commercial?
Maybe. I don't actually.
Oh, it's like people show up to Larry David with like obvious like things that we consider, everyday stuff, and it's for an electric car, and he's like, "Yeah, it's not a good idea." And then it's like, "Yeah, people thought these were dumb too, but electric cars." Anyway,
Larry David,
completely unrelated.
He can do whatever he wants now.
My point is,
anyway,
maybe we just can't see it, but I really can't see it.
Listen, we could have formed this in with our message about FNX, but I wouldn't do that to that company.
They might
been
drop
good
us.
to us. Exactly. They've been good to us. I want to keep them on our good side. So yeah, you can get a pineapple pump. This is the other problem. Pineapple pump, swole berry in Orange County. Would you guys just give up on the third one? Come on. Orange, you glad you worked out today? Easy, done. Hire me.
We fixed it for you.
Moving on.
All right, we're gonna have a drink, and we're gonna get jazzy, and I have a toast, and I'm gonna propose it right now.
Is it just a bunch of elephant sounds?
I'm gonna. I don't even know what to call that. I'm gonna make elephant noises for the next minute and a half.
You do you.
This is a poem appropriately titled "Belgium" by Edith Wharton. La Belgique ne regrette rien. Not with her ruined silver spires, not with her cities shamed and rent, perish the imperishable fires that shape the homestead from the tent. Wherever men are staunch and free, there shall she keep her fearless state, and homeless, to great nations be the home of all that makes them great. And this is a quote that I found from one Cheska Moon. I'd rather live in hallucination, delusion, and insanity than to live in sense, reasonableness, and rationality. Because for me, delirium is decacomania in the wits, and reality is a kaleidoscope of abstract chaos.
Fun.
Cheers.
Fun. Yeah, that is the perfect toast to get us in the mood to drink delirium. Well done.
Just enjoying the jazz. And as a complete aside, unscripted before I hit this transition music, we also are raising a glass this week to Gabe, who, by the time this episode drops, will have turned 29.
Oh,
and
that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
You enjoy your 30th trip around the sun, sir, because...
30th?
Yeah, you're coming
29.
up on... No, when you hit the other side, you'll be 30.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. Why are you rushing me?
It's your 30th trip. You've made 29. You're now starting your 30th. And a year from now, you will join the club of the Big 3-0. So happy birthday, Gabe. These Belgian beers are for you.
Thank you. I had a housewarming / birthday party last night. It went very well. We had a bunch of people over, hence how I started the episode. Gabe, let's just say I prepared for the podcast.
Hair of the dog.
Hair of the dog. This is the late night hair of the dog, so I'm very excited. But thank you for the birthday shout out. I appreciate it. Let's raise it. Let's have a drink. Let's do it.
So we commence with the Delirium Tremens, which is one of the most popular. It's the flagship. But before we even get into it, can I just say, terrible name. Like, just a terrible name for the beer. If you Google Delirium Tremens, because Delirium Tremens, you know what that is?
I do not.
The Delirium Tremens is the DTs. If you've never heard of the DTs, it's when you're an alcoholic and you go through a physical, it's a physical compulsion.
The shakes?
You're shaking, you get sick, feverish.
Yeah.
That's what the full name for the DTs is, Delirium Tremens.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
If you Google Delirium Tremens, there's a Wikipedia page and it's just very depressing.
Oh, no.
But that's what they've chosen to call their beer. So that's what it is. Anyway.
Wow. Someone has an opinion. Not you, them. My God.
But it is a 8.5%. Obviously, it's a Belgian beer. It's a classic Belgian ale, what I would call a Belgian strong ale because it's 8.5%. The IBUs are at 24. Beer Advocate has it at 92. Untapped 3.87. And here it is in the glass, which is a Spencer Brewing glass, by the way, in honor of our friends.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. But they're Belgian, and so this glass is appropriate.
I have the can. For those of you on YouTube, I have the can, but as a gift last night, I was literally given the bottle, the 750 bottle of it. So I just wanted to show off because I know Steven also has the bottle. So.
Yeah, it's big, and I have to work my way through that. In the glass SRM chart, it is at a 4. The brewery puts it on their website. They use the EBC, which is a European version of the SRM chart. It's just a different way of doing beer color. So they have it clocked at 7, but that translates to a 4. It's pale,
very
golden,
pale yellow, very see-through. Oh my God,
sunshine.
Look at this. You can see everything behind me.
And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the bubbles shooting up from the bottom of my glass.
Yes.
We talked about on the last episode, the little scratchy scratch. Just keeps the beer churning,
Good for you, Spencer.
Yeah. Delirium Tremens. So it's a very, very old beer. It first debuted in 1988. It was nominated for Best Beer in the World in 1997. It won gold at the World Beer Championship in Chicago in 1998. It has been around for a very long time. Basically, this Brewery Huyghe, is a big Belgian operation, and they have a bunch of beers. But if you click on Delirium, it just takes you to a whole different website because it's a whole brand. It's like a whole thing in and of itself, kind of independent of the brewery. And so
it's kind
this is
of
the
like
flagship of that.
A small brewery attached to Huyghe. But seriously, it's got like its own establishment, its own presence, which is really cool to see. But yeah, here we go.
I poured with a nice creamy head, lots of retention, lots of lacing in the glass. Really, just a nice sort of thick look to the whole thing. And on the nose, it's Belgian. You know what I mean? It's
banana,
spicy.
spice, nutmeg, coriander, all the normal stuff. It's all there. But it does smell boozy to me. It's 8.5. I would believe that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that a lot of these Belgian beers do not go this high in alcohol. I mean, it is classified as a Belgian strong ale. That's how we would classify it. The brewery doesn't call it that ever, but that is how we would classify it. So the alcohol in this is high. It's dangerous. You definitely smell malt and spelt on the nose, but you do smell the alcohol. I would say it's less complex than some Belgians on the nose. I would say the banana is more muted in this than a lot of it is. A lot of the ones I've had in America. I think that this one is a little bit more subtle, just on the nose.
Melon, cantaloupe.
Yeah,
that's weird. I wouldn't expect that in a Belgian, right? I feel like that doesn't show up a lot. Hey, it's no problems.
I mean, the clove is definitely there. The yeast
clove
is there.
Hits hard, yeah.
Pepper, some bread, some like biscuit thing. But it's hard to get past this just like pillow of dense white foam on top. I just want to lay down and
plop down on it, take a nap. According to the brewery, it is described as feels like the sound shot of alcohol is igniting the mouth. In reality, the tongue and palate are warmed. That's a description.
Yeah, and they better be, because
that's something else.
All right, we're gonna dive in. We're gonna take a sip.
Here we go.
Cheers.
Wow,
that's very good.
That's smooth.
Yeah.
It's flavorful and way too, I would say, too easy to go down. I'm kind of like, what did you guys do? It's very easy going down. It's very smooth. It's very flavorful. I'm getting that banana. I'm getting that Belgian spice. I'm getting that melon again. What's good with these melons, bro?
Yeah, there's a really nice fruitiness to this. Really, some nice florality, but a lot of orange citrus, a lot of orange zest, banana, absolutely. The clove flavors are there. The to your point, I mean, it's so easy to drink. It's really dangerous in that way because it doesn't have a big boozy feel in the mouth.
Not at all.
I mean, the brewery describes it as feels like the sound shot of alcohol igniting the mouth, like you said, but I don't feel like alcohol ignited my mouth. I feel like maybe a little bit, there's maybe a little like bitter lasting aftertaste, which might be some booziness, but it doesn't like drink like a boozy, like you don't drink this the way you drink some like barrel aged stuff and you go like, oh, like whiskey. Like, no, this is, and that's what makes it so dangerous.
For me, I think the back end's pretty clean for me. I'm getting a little bit of the lingering flavor and taste, but
It's
I'm not
very
really
subtle.
Yeah, I'm not getting a lot of bitterness at all. I'm not getting a lot of just the bitterness is not too strong in the back end, but it's soft in the palate, it's smooth going down, it's easy going down. It's definitely under the dangerous category. This is not to be messed around with.
Yeah.
Especially if, you've got maybe a second one of these. Pace yourself, drink some water. It's going to be a long night.
It's got, it's, I mean, the main things that characterize it for me are the fruitiness, the apricot, all of those things, marmalade. I mean, there's so much fruity, zingy things going on. The hops are there, but it's not very grassy. Some Belgians can tend to be that. I think the spiciness of it is there, but it's a little bit muted.
Sweet green apple.
Yeah, and the body of the whole thing is light, surprisingly light. The carbonation is very high. Look at the lacing. If you're on YouTube, just take that in. It's just coating the whole glass. I mean, it's I am afraid of this beer. All right, I'll be honest about it. This beer, one of the drunkest nights I've ever had in my life.
Yes, is this the story? Finally, let's hear it.
I don't even know that there's much of a story. It's just I was in Canada and in Canada the thing is that they're when you go to Canada, you have to turn your American money into Canadian money, and their money doesn't look real. It's holographic. It looks like Monopoly money, and it's sort of easy to just throw around, and you don't feel like you're really spending money on things. And so,
oh no, that's how they get you.
I was in a bar. I was also like 20. Like I think I was too young to drink. I don't know, but there was pool. I don't remember much, to be honest. I just remember it was one of those nights I was like, buy one for yourself too. Like I was buying the bartender drinks.
Oh boy, Steven was feeling himself.
I was so hungover on an airplane the next day, and it was all this beer. I was just drinking this beer. In Canada.
Yeah, because your 20-year-old brain said this is so easy to drink.
And I felt bad because I didn't speak their language. They spoke French. They also spoke English, but I feel bad when I'm in somebody else's country that I don't speak their language. So I don't know. I was playing pool with a stranger. I don't remember a whole lot, but I remember.
Were you in Canada alone?
No, I was with my family.
Okay, this entire story so far, I'm waiting for. I was with this person. I was with that person. I was like, was Steven alone in Canada?
I thought I'd leave him out of it, but I was with my brother, and he might remember it differently or better than I do because I don't remember much. I just do remember that I took a plane the next day across the country, and I was very hungover, and it was all Delirium Tremens, and I think that. Combined with the fact that it only comes in these giant bottles usually, combined with the fact that the name is, like I said, the name is really depressing and dark. All of those things come together to be I never order this beer. But it's
this
a very good one.
Because we'll reset the memory for you.
Yeah.
So now when you drink this beer, you'll think of the hop. You won't think of Canada.
Or we won't, because I have a whole fucking bottle I have to finish tonight. So if I wake up with a raging hangover tomorrow, it'll just confirm that I should stay away from this beer because it's
Rule 76, play like a champion.
All right, let's talk about Brewery. I gotta stop saying the name because Brewery Huyghe. We'll call it that.
Huyghe.
The brewery, the history of it dates back centuries. It was 1902 when Leon Huyghe started working at the company, and he helped kind of usher it into a modern age. He had always had an interest in beer. He also married a brewer's daughter, so that helped. But that's where the Huyghe name comes into play. 1902. He was eventually joined by his son, Albert, his son-in-law, Louis, in 1925. Today, they are under the guidance of the fourth generation Huyghe. That is brewmaster Alan DeLayet, or Lates, or Lat. We don't know.
I love that. I love that in any sort of company or business or what have you, it just gets passed down generation by generation. Like they're still holding on to it. That's great.
Yes. I'll be honest. It's hard to get a whole lot of information about this company because they have a lot of websites and they're all Belgian. So when they translate to English, like you just read stuff that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, It'll bet. Be like, it's not.
This is a hall dedicated to the great drink of beer and vodka. And you're like,
woof.
What? Speaking of which, this is one of their tap. They have a village kind of thing. Like it's called Delirium Village. And there's like a series of tap rooms and bars. One of them has 27 taps. This is one of them, the main bar area. And it's kind of there to celebrate Delirium as a beer. They also have other beers on tap, and it's not specifically Brewery Huyghe, I don't think, but this is in Delirium Village, so that's why I am here at this beautiful spot.
You're in the village. Now you can go to the Olympics.
And speaking of, this brewery has won a lot of medals.
They've won a lot of medals. This beer we're drinking alone, it's actually on the can, which is one of the biggest flexes I've ever seen. It literally says, elected as best beer in the world. And that has happened a few times.
Yes, it's just, I said it at the top. It does have the reputation of being like one of the best in all of these, World Beer Cup. I mean, it's really lauded as a paragon of the Belgian beer style. And it's authentic Belgian beer. This is a style that is as classic as German beer and Irish stouts. It's just one of the most classic beer styles that all breweries chase. How many American breweries are doing Belgian style beers, and this kind
or how many of them are doing them and doing it well?
Well, yeah, but I mean to say that every brewery has their Belgian style pale ale or whatever. It's so common. But this is the brewery that set the trend for what that is, that sort of holds up the tradition of where that came from, centuries ago.
I got to be honest, this page on the Delirium website with all the awards, this page does not end. And we don't have time to name all the awards, but, European Beer Star, London Beer Competition, World Beer Awards, Brussels Beer Challenge. I mean, they're obviously well known, and I won't name the second beer we're drinking because I don't want to spoil it yet, but the Tremens is all over this. They don't have many beers. They have quite a few, but the beers they do have are just knockouts, apparently, over and over. This page does not end. My goodness.
The thing is that, so the company, Brewery Huyghe, went through a...
I just love the hesitation.
It's in my head. It's
yeah.
Like, the company went through a radical shift in 1985, and that kind of split production into different divisions. So at that time, they debuted their amber beer, which is called Artevelde. And if you go to if you go to Brewery Huyghe's website specifically, you can see all of their different brands. They do have a bunch of them. So I mentioned that Delirium has its own thing. It has its own website. It's got its whole own thing. They also have a brand called Averbode that you may have heard of. They have St. Eidsbald, which you definitely may have heard of. That's available in the U.S. They have a campus brewery where they do they have Mongozo, Blanche de Neige, Floris, which seems like they do some more sours and stuff like that, Villers. So there's a lot of different beers within that, and then each one of those categories, if you click on them, some of them are breweries with their own like labels, and Delirium has at least 8 or 10 different just Delirium beers by itself. So it's kind of a lot to unpack and dig into
And if you want to learn a little bit more about Belgian beers in general, I suggest going to belgianfamilybrewers.be. It's a website that's all about Belgian family brewers and how they do it, what their labels are, the beers they use, their experience, all stuff like that. Because it is interesting, and it is a world that, we're kind of in, but, I don't know anything about how Belgian people make beer and how they do it and what they do and yada, yada, yada. So it is really cool. So if you're a Belgian brewer, well done.
Well done. You're keeping
how do you do
tradition
it?
alive. See, but with
and
the
how do you
Florist,
pronounce the brewery name?
with the Florist brand, right? Like I mentioned, the Florist brand being like sours and fruity beer. They have an apple, they have a strawberry, they have a cherry, and there are 4 more. Like I could keep going. There's passion fruit. There's all different ones. So the brewery itself, Brewery Huyghe, does have a lot of beers. And then Delirium there's like 8 to 10 of them. And we have another one to get to, which we should do. So any final thoughts on this, on the DTs here that we're drinking?
On the DTs, smooth, easy, dangerous, silky, surprising, fun, flavorful, not what I was expecting in a good way. What I needed, possibly. I'm into it.
Hair of the dog.
Me personally, I don't know that I do drink Belgian beers. I don't know that I drink them a lot. Is this the first beer I'm going to go for when I'm at a bar? Depending on my mood, probably not. But It's a beer that is definitely going to be on my radar. And depending on what night I'm having or trying to have, it will be in consideration. Steven.
Yeah, same. I've had this beer before, so this beer isn't surprising to me. Everything.
Are you still afraid of the beer?
Yes, I am. Ask me tomorrow, and we'll see how. But it's really good. It's such a good beer. The Belgian beers, I'm the same way. I don't tend to reach for them first. So something about the high ABV of a Belgian strong ale. I know that the combination of the spiciness of the beer and the high ABV is something that tends to go right to my head. That's me. But it also makes the beer more enjoyable to drink for me. So it's a tightrope that I often walk, which is why I don't get them that often. But this one is surprisingly, it's very dangerous because you don't taste a lot of booze. It's dry, but flavorful. It's got great balance. It's just, they don't need our stamp of approval. They're doing just fine. But
look at this cute little elephant.
The elephant is key. They're really
he's just playing, hanging out, kicking back, relaxing, all cool. All right.
He looks a little drunk to me, if I'm being honest.
He probably is. He's on the cover of a beer. I would be.
All right, let's go get another Delirium beer.
Beer number 2.
Keep this party rolling.
We've got the Delirium Red. It is their red. It is noted as Belgian ale with cherry and elderberry. So that is fun. That'll be interesting. 8% ABV, 20 IBUs. Beer Advocate gave it an 82. Untapped gave it a 3.58. It is noted from the brewery as a sweet and fruity with a nice balance between sweet and sour. An excellent dessert beer. Glad we did this second. It's noted to have...
We are smart.
Yeah, right? Like we did do the right thing. It's been noted to have soft, fruity aroma with hints of almond and mildly sour cherries. So I'm wondering if we'll get some sort of sour note on it. This is what it looks like in the glass. It looks like dark pomegranate juice. It's red verging on brown on the SRM chart. For the brewery, they use the EBC, as you said. They gave it like a 40, but I think we are going to give it like a 21-ish.
Well, yeah, EBC 40 translates to about 2021 on the SRM chart. It's very dark. It's like, it's deep red, like you said, bordering on brown. It's a dark, dark ruby color. It poured with a nice pink head that was very dense. Has kind of dissipated into a ring around the glass, but it was nice and thick when we poured it, when I poured it, and there's some lacing going on. It looks rich. What would we classify this beer as? I guess it would be a fruit ale, a fruited.
I believe we should classify it as that because I think that's legitimately how they classify it somewhere in the world. But
Fair.
Yeah, it's Belgian ale, fruity. Oh, you got a shiny bottle. Look at that.
Oh yeah, this is their ceramic bottles that they put.
I just have the can.
Their beers.
Sweet.
Yeah. But yeah,
It
Belgian
smells like cherry. It smells fruity. It smells like, I don't know why this comes to mind. It smells like a party. It smells like you're going out and you're hanging with your friends and you're just night on the town. We're going to paint the town red. See what I did there? Amen. All right.
I get lots of cherry for sure. Not a whole lot of much else. I don't get a lot of beer-related things. No alcohol, no hops, no malt or anything like that. My first thought when I smelled it was Jolly Rancher. My second thought was cough syrup. So do with that what you will. I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's very cherry sweet. You know.
Here's the thing, though. You're not wrong.
On the nose.
I can imagine it doesn't taste like that, but you are not wrong on that. That does hit home a little bit too. Damn it.
I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean the cherry is, once that's on the nose, like that is up front and forward, and it's just hard to pick up anything else. I mean, there's maybe a little bit of Belgian spice behind it now that I'm getting used to it.
So this will clear sickness, is what Steven's trying to say.
Yes, if you're sick, have a Delirium Red.
Steven is a doctor, so
I am a certified. No, I'm not. I could probably get sued for saying that.
Oh, whoops!
Not a doctor. Maybe I can. I don't know. You want to drink it?
Kinda.
All right.
I feel like it wants us to. So
that's probably what we're here to do. So here we go.
Cheers. Clocking in. Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's sweet. That was very sweet. I was fully prepared to come on here and go, yeah, it's not as sweet as it smells on the nose, but no, she's sweet. The first thought I had on tasting it was Skittles. So do with that what you will. But I think as the sweetness subsides, you'll start to get some other flavors. So I'm going to keep sipping it a little bit, but it's definitely
very, very nice carbonation. Cherry is. If this beer was a band, Cherry's the front runner, the lead singer, the one you go to see. It's very, very sweet. I think in order to get past the sweetness, it's kind of similar to a sour in the sense, it's not a sour, but it's similar to a sour in the sense of you have to take a couple sips to make your palate get used to it. Your tongue is going to kind of freak out and bubble a little bit in a good way, but it's making my mouth water a little bit, I think, because of the overexposed flavor and sweetness of it. I definitely makes you go in for a second sip. The back end is fun. It's flavorful. I think this tastes not quite like an 8%, but I think it's getting there. I think if I didn't know the ABV, I'd probably guess it's on the higher side. I don't think this will. Okay, I'm sorry, Delirium. I'm just gonna say it. I think if you had too many of these, you'd have a really bad hangover. I'm sorry.
Yeah. First of all, I think if the ABV was taken up a little bit and maybe there were less elderberry, I think the elderberry is what contributes to there is something very medicinal about it. I don't know how else to say it. There's something very cough syrupy about it on the taste. I'm not saying I don't like it. I do. And also, once again, this is a brewery with a lot of history and they know what they're doing. So for us to criticize them is sort of like, but that's what we're here to do. So whatever. It is a nice balance between sweet and sour. It does have the cherries. I think that there's just not, I want a little bit more to cut the sweetness. And for me, it would work if it was just the alcohol, if it was a little boozier or if it was aged or something, which I think they did do at some point. If they aged it in barrels, then I think we would cut that sweetness a little bit and it would take it into because it's bordering on like a creek, which is a cherry ale that's boozy, and it's and I think that's a Belgian style too, and it's one of my favorites. Like I absolutely love it. This one is just I like it, but I agree. I think if you had too many of these, it's just too sweet.
And I don't even know that I would want higher ABV to cut it. I think cutting it with another flavor profile, another ingredient, maybe another hop, maybe less hops, I don't know, but it needs something to bring it home. I feel like it's one tiny step away from being chuggable. I think right now, obviously the ABV, but I mean, we've had some beers that it's like, 8%, yeah, it tastes so good, let's chug it, but which is not smart, but here we are. I think it's good. I don't dislike it, but yeah, it is a little on the sweeter side of, okay, let's heads up.
Yeah, I mean,
heads up.
I think
that's what I'm going to say. Heads up.
The thing is that the taste is cherry, but then the back end is also cherry, like lingering cherry. So it's like it's sort of like is like heavy cherry the whole way through. To your point, I think that the carbonation is again it's high. The body of it is like medium, but it's kind of just a cherry bomb. It's got great the head, the foam on top was great.
It's like pink. It's kind of cool.
It's nice as a dessert beer. It would be really nice at like Christmas. But it's definitely one that if you like fruity beers, if you like sours, like maybe you'd like this even though it's not sour. If you like cherry and tart beers, you will like this. If you're not someone who's into that, if you're like, I'll take some fruit flavors, but no, just steer clear because it's super cherry.
Super cherry. If you can't live without cherries, sign you up. You're gonna love this beer. But yeah, she's sweet. All right,
she's sweet.
Before
we get into Can Arts and Crafts, I do just want to mention because it's a big part of their brewery, their sustainability initiatives. It's a big part of what Brewery Huyghe is trying to do in general. They underwent a significant development in 2014. Initially, and they had the goal of becoming, this is from their website, they wanted to become Belgium's most sustainable brewer. So they have very green ambitions. They've been investing a lot in it. I won't tell you how much because it's in euros and we don't understand what that means. But they're doing things like new refrigeration compressors, new barrel line, new water purification installation, boiling plant, all that kind of stuff. Environmental initiatives are a big part of what they do, and you can read all about it on their website. There's a lot of it. But basically just trying to be a sustainable green operation, which we always love to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Give back, recycle. We need more cans.
Things like using recycling rainwater to power their for the water that they use in the brewery. Things like that. Ways that they can make their bottling plant more sustainable and, get sustainable light sources and different things like that. There's a whole lot of it. They've invested a lot over the years, solar panels, a new warehouse, all different kinds of stuff. So we love to see it. And keep on keeping on. Delirium, Brewery Huyghe.
Brewery Huyghe, Delirium.
Oh
wow! This is it's getting sweeter.
Do you want to bust Bob Ross out here and talk about some Can Arts and Crafts?
Yeah, he's hiding in this room somewhere. I'll find him. Don't worry,
Bobby.
Can Art and Crafts.
Bobby has arrived, and Bobby is ready to give some feedback. So I have the can. I also have the big-ass bottle. We're going to start with the Tremens. The can, very blue, my favorite color. Well done. Ace in the hole. Great. We got this big-ass pink elephant who's living his best life, who looks like he does...
I was a little late to it, but I wanted to get there.
Forgive me. I should have known better. I'm so sorry. Thank you for playing that because that's what we need in this world. We don't have a pink drop, but we got this pink elephant. He does look a little tipsy now that I think about it, but the elephant's iconic. You know this logo. I don't think there's any other brewery, even if they have an elephant that comes close to this. You see this elephant, you know Delirium, you know what's going on. And the red can is basically the same thing as the blue, as the Tremens, except the can is red, the elephant's still pink, he still looks tipsy, and it's got the description. Delirium has a fun font, got some swirls going, but it's big, bold letters. Again, this is the brewery where you know what the beer is. It's the big pink elephant. No one else does it like it. It's really solid. It's kind of on the basic side, but it is pretty dope. And then the bottles are basically the same thing, but they're some fun material, and I like that. I'm gonna give it a solid 9. We could all do with a solid 9 around here. Delirium does it well. You know the beers and whatnot. Bob Ross is here. He clocked in. He's ready to drink some of this red. Help me drink some of this red. It's very sweet, and he likes sweet things because he's very sweet. Bob Ross will make you feel very sweet.
Oh.
Aw, and that's another great edition of Can Arts and Crafts.
So, in terms of what else is on tap here at Delirium, they have, Delirium has, I mentioned they have like 8 to 10 beers, right? So there is the Delirium Tremens in red, obviously. Then there's the Argentum, the Nocturnum, the Christmas. There's
ho, ho, ho! It's 10% Christmas ale. Looks dope.
They have Deliria, they got the blonde, and the black. Now, what I want to talk about is the black real quick, because what they did was they took their Christmas ale, which is a 10%, like you said.
10%.
Amber. Oh, everything's in Dutch. Chestnut amber ale.
Translate.
It's so they took this 10% amber ale, and they also took their Nocturnum, which is an 8.5%. I guess amber. It's in Dutch. But they blended it together, and then they aged it for 9 months in Buffalo Trace oak bourbon barrels.
Oh.
Michael Thomas Breen.
Bang!
I don't know.
Exclamation point!
I don't know his middle name.
I was
but
just
who
going to
cares?
say, I feel like every time you give him a middle name, it changes, and that's what we should keep doing.
But that's
yes.
the Delirium Black, and oh my God, that sounds really good.
That's hot right there. That's hot.
The final product, just in case I didn't say it, is 11.5%, but it's a amber
it looks
ale
so good.
aged in Buffalo Trace bourbon, notes of vanilla and alcohol and caramel and other things like that. I'm assuming that's what these words mean. They're Dutch, but it looks really, really good. So that's the one I want to mention.
So you mentioned the Deliria, and I actually have that. I picked this guy up. I wasn't sure if it would make it onto the show, but even if we didn't sample it, I knew it would get a shout out. This is brewed by women, enjoyed by all is their slogan, because it is in proud partner of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Proceeds go to the foundation for every beer sold. It is another classic Belgian ale, and according to Delirium, it is another 8.5%er. My God, a pale blonde color, fine creamy white head, a pleasant sparkling carbonate content produces a soft, full taste perception. Just a very classic Belgian ale, but obviously, the big point is the Breast Cancer Foundation, which is really great. Giving back. We love to see it. And it's a fun pink can. And I think if it's another one of those beers, if you see it, grab it. It's for a good cause.
Beer for a good cause. We love to see it. Give it up.
Literally for this episode, I was like, all right, I'm going to get the blue. I'm going to get the red. There's a pink. Grab it. I don't know what it is, but we'll see what happens. And here we are.
They didn't have the pink on the West Coast, but
damn it.
Work on that. People. All right. With that, we are running out of time, so it's time for us to wrap it up. Delirium, Brewery Huyghe, whatever. Listen, I'm never gonna not have fun with your name, but Delirium
We're gonna
is a great
get some
brand.
letters.
And maybe someday we could do the brewery as a whole and look at all the things they have to offer. But Delirium itself is a great brand that is widely available in the United States. So if you're interested in some authentic Belgian beer brewed in Belgium, get your hands on this. The Tremens is scary but good.
Look for the elephant.
Yeah, just look for the pink elephant, and the elephant cannot lead you wrong.
Hey, Steven.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
I hate you so much.
It's late.
Last call.
Gabe?
We all love Uber. Uber's great. It gets you from point A to point B. We can talk about the prices later, whatever. It's not what this is about. So we stumbled across an article of how Uber released its 6th annual. We're 6 years behind on this, apparently. 6th annual Lost and Found Index, where they reveal some of the most common and most unusual items left behind in Uber drivers' cars. Now, normally, I didn't think anything of it, but we found the normal stuff. Phones, cameras, wallets, keys, backpacks, purses, headphones, speakers, glasses, clothing, vaping devices, jewelry, and IDs. Happens all the time. You lose things, falls out of the pocket, you're taking an Uber
Classic.
home, you're wasted with your buddies, you don't know what's going on. We get it.
By clothing, I hope they mean like a jacket or a sweatshirt. But, that's another
A bra. I mean, I don't know.
Who knows? That's not what we're here to talk about.
We're here to talk about the more uncommon things that have been mentioned on this site, quoted as unique items. Tater tots, a fingernail. And I feel like the reason they put it in there was because it was a big fingernail.
I mean, like a fake one. I mean, because like
Yes.
if you found a fingernail in there, I wouldn't be like somebody lost this. I'd be like somebody broke their fingernail.
Somebody cut their nails or
cut
something.
their
I don't
nails
know.
in my car. Go on.
Continuing the list, my grandma's teeth.
That's problematic for a lot of reasons.
500 grams of caviar.
I don't know what 500 grams is because I'm American and this is a British article, but we don't work
Spoiler
on the metric.
alert.
Yeah, we don't know what that means, but let's back up. My grandma's teeth. We got to explore that a little more. I mean, that means that you took your grandma's teeth, which in and of itself, I have questions about. Like, why did you have them forget that you forgot them there and that you had, like, why were they outside of grandma, really, at all?
What did you do with grandma? Yeah, either you took the teeth or you took an Uber with grandma and she dropped them, why is grandma taking her teeth out in a car?
Right. I mean, if you took an Uber with grandma, why...
Where are you going?
Why didn't grandma report this? My teeth. Why would it say that? I just imagine some guy like, we need to take grandma's teeth across town today. For some reason. Anyway,
Like in a jar of water? Oh.
go on. We got to the caviar, so keep going.
What do you do as the driver? Anyway, 500 grams of caviar, which...
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe I am a caviar novice. I don't really eat it. I don't really know because you have to be professional and fancy about it in some capacity. And I know you can buy it in stores. I don't get it.
I feel like the driver's the winner in that scenario.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. This next one's interesting. A pizza costume.
Sure. Why not?
Okay. Great. A expletive, in quotes, painting of a moose.
I feel like that's like a driver reported that is like, there's a fucking painting of a moose in my car, mate. I don't know.
Okay, so he's British in your scenario.
Yeah, well, this article is, so I assume all of this is British. And I don't know why.
My thought on it is, and you can judge me all you want, but I know I'm not going to be the only person who thought of this. When I saw expletive painting of a moose, I thought of like a moose with, come on, his junk hanging out. Let's be real. Let's be adults. Let's not make it weird.
Oh, you thought like an exploitative painting of a moose?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
That's where my brain went.
It says expletive in brackets.
I know it says expletive, but what if? I don't know.
That's
Moose got
honestly,
a moose.
That's
you know
a better
what I'm saying?
painting. And if I was that guy, I would hang it up. a Billie Eilish ukulele, an Employee of the Month plaque, a Bernie Sanders fanny pack, sure, a crocheted strawberry, what? A bucket of slime, a ball gag, and a stethoscope. Kinky.
That one's the winner. Yeah,
And-
that one's the... Huh?
No. The winner is a brown tortoise. Like
Was
alive?
it alive?
Like alive?
Oh, God. I hope it was.
Well, and then the article
New
also
pet.
says that more than 40 riders lost their CPAP machines, which are things you sleep with. Yeah.
Yeah, you put it over. It's you're basically turned into Bane from Batman, so you can get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
The ironic thing is the thing makes a shitload of noise, so I don't get how you fall asleep.
It's supposed to stop you from snoring, but yes, then it's like a loud like it's yeah. I like also the article does list the most forgetful cities on the list, so you got called
this is
out.
great.
So get ready to have shots fired at you if you live in Austin, Texas, Charlotte, North Carolina, Houston, Texas, Indianapolis, Dallas, Texas. What's going on,
Texas
dude?
is fucking up.
Get it together. Kansas City, Kansas, not Kansas City, Missouri, but Kansas City, Kansas, Atlanta, Georgia, Tampa, Florida, Columbus, Ohio, and Phoenix. So if you live in any of those cities,
Don't forget your dentures.
double check. You might have left something in the Uber.
How do you forget a CPAP machine? Those things are huge.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't.
Some of these, it's like I lost my keys. Like those are small. Those fall out of your pocket, and if you don't hear them, those are gone.
It'd be one
like-
thing if it was like, but I mean more than 40 people. Like this is a recurring problem. People continually forget their CPAPs, which I just don't understand. It's a big thing. That's like forgetting your whole suitcase. You know what I mean? It's like your head just has to be in the clouds.
That makes me think people forgot them, quote unquote, on purpose. They were like, I don't want this. Like maybe
If I leave this here, I can tell my wife I lost it, and I don't.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I don't know what happened.
I can
Did you
sleep
lose
without
it?
the fucking tube.
Those things are weird.
You know
but
what?
Yeah.
Maybe these people had too many delirium tremens, and that's why they couldn't remember their shit.
That's why they left their pizza costume in the back seat.
It's you know what? A pizza costume, it's like an umbrella. You never really remember. You bring it places, and then you just sort of stick it places, and then you never really remember to take it with you. You know?
A bucket of slime. Thoughts?
The guy worked for Nickelodeon in the 90s.
There we go. I like that answer. Well done, Steven. And on that note, we're going to get the F out of here.
Go.
Thank you guys for joining us. Hit up Delirium. Hit up Brewery Huyghe. We'll spell it right on social media. That way you can Google it. But really great beers, really strong beers, but easy to go down and fun and fruity and whatnot. Thank you for joining us yet again.
An international episode. We'll have more in 2 weeks, including whatever happened with Modern Times. We'll keep up on that. We got a fun new brewery coming up that I'm super excited about, so we'll see you for that. Until then, at the HO Podcast, I am at Shakespeareus. Gabe is at Gaberade67. Hit us up, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
We love you guys. Hey, go Rangers.
Happy Father's Day.